And you can never have enough Fleet Farm mixed nuts. 2-pound bags are on sale for $12.99. Wash it all down with Bubbler's sparkling water. Now just $11 for 2 6-packs. The holidays will be here before you know it. So stock up now on everything you need at the best prices guaranteed at Fleet Farm.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you own a company, you know how valuable your loyal employees are. Show your gratitude with a company holiday party at the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford. The party rooms are free and the world-class game room adds a ton of fun. Your holiday party doesn't have to be expensive. The Mine Shaft will create a party to fit your budget. And if you own a smaller company, the Mine Shaft is perfect for you. Book today for the best days and times. It's affordable. It's themineshaft.restaurant.com. Check it out. And Thanksgiving is almost here. Just think how long it takes to prep, cook, and clean for your Thanksgiving dinner. Don't cook, relax with your family, and enjoy the Thanksgiving Day buffet at the Mine Shaft. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft with everything you love for Thanksgiving. All you can eat, just $21.99. Kids and grandkids under 3 always eat for free. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and also off the interstate in Oshkosh. Tons of seating. Close parking. Reserve today. MineshaftRestaurant.com.
The place you want to go. Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Those dinosaur arms don't have the reach that these guys have.
Giannis the other direction. He's going to tee one up from 3. And why not? Lopez casts up the 3, and he sticks it. Fades and fires. What a shot. A.J. Green.
The Bucks and Raptors face off with our coverage starting tonight at 6 with Bucks Shoot Around. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 11:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, November 12th. Your top story, starting off the holiday season in Milwaukee.
I'm Jessica Ty. Billions proposed for Wisconsin schools.
Kind of chilly today, becoming partly cloudy at a high of 48. Partly cloudy tonight, an overnight low of 42. Partly cloudy on Wednesday, chance of rain later in the evening, and a high of 53. It is 47 and partly sunny in Milwaukee at 11:02 from the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, an annual tradition renewed on Milwaukee's west side today.
The holiday season officially underway as Milwaukee's 111th annual Christmas tree has been harvested and is en route to Deer District for the lighting December 5th. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ, among all the Christmas trees he's seen over the years,
this is an incredible specimen.
A sentiment echoed by Milwaukee Alderwoman Charlene Moore.
Give me a grade on this here tree. What do you think?
Listen, this tree is definitely an A+.
On Milwaukee's west side, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin State Superintendent is proposing an additional $3 billion in state funding for public schools. Dr. Jill Underley says it will help schools and communities.
These investments will significantly reduce the number of referendum for operating costs in local communities. We will hold down local property taxes while investing in education. It's a true win-win.
The $4 billion proposal would also increase special education reimbursement. Wisconsin currently gives schools less than 1/3 of what that state-mandated service costs.
Milwaukee County seeking an uptick in financial scams in which callers pose as law enforcement officers demanding payment. Phone call like this might sound like this.
You have some urgent legal matters that will require your immediate attention. So if you could, at your earliest convenience, please give me a call back.
The scammer often demands payment via Bitcoin, Coinstar, money order, or even gift cards for fake fines. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Deputy Kay Rodriguez says to remind loved ones,
law enforcement agencies will never call to ask for these types of payments to be made regarding warrants or jury duty. In fact, we never call threatening arrest, period.
And victims of these scams can lose hundreds, even thousands of dollars or more.
A top House leader says Republicans are ready to deliver on President-elect Donald Trump's mandate.
America's best days are ahead of us.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says this leadership will hit the ground running.
To deliver President Trump's agenda in the 119th Congress, to turn this country around.
He says it's clear the American people want
to prevent terrorists and criminals from entering the country. They want and deserve lower costs. They want us to project strength on the world stage again and not the weakness that we have projected for the last 4 years. They want an end to the wokeness and the radical gender ideology and a return to common sense.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says the focus should be on putting working-class families over the well-connected.
One of the focuses that we need to spend our attention on together, collectively, not as Democrats and Republicans, but as Americans, is making sure that we can drive down the cost of living. It's too high for far too many Americans.
He also says Democrats need to work with the incoming administration when possible and strongly disagree when necessary. Time for news about your money from the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update Center. It's the Dow Jones trailing about 250 points today at 44,042. NASDAQ down 35 points at 19,263. S&P 500 also off today, down about 20 points at 5981. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
The Packers travel to Chicago on Sunday to face the Bears. What can we expect? We'll check it out. Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sounding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:05.
This report sponsored by the White Lace Inn, Door County. Order your holiday gift certificates now.
Hi, Dennis from White Lace Inn here. Since 1982, Bonnie and I have been providing comfortable elegance, sincere hospitality, and romantic getaways at the White Lace Inn in beautiful Door County. The White Lace Inn, 18 incredible rooms and suites within 4 Victorian homes, each with a beautiful queen or king-size bed. Enjoy a romantic fireplace and the warmth of a whirlpool for two. White Lace Inn gift certificates. It's the perfect holiday gift, and it's so easy, you can do it right now from your computer. Go to whitelaceinn.com and take a tour of each room, then click on the gift certificate icon or give us a call. In a few days, you'll receive your gift certificate, which never expires, in the mail along with a brochure to put under the tree. A gift certificate for White Lace Inn. It's a wonderful idea. The White Lace Inn on the Door County Peninsula is open every night of the year. Check out our website now, whitelaceinn.com. The White Lace Inn in beautiful Door County.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers traveled to Chicago to face the Bears on Sunday. Chicago's lost 3 straight. They fired their offensive coordinator today. Jordan Love, meanwhile, currently tied for the league lead in interceptions with 10.
It has to get better. I mean, I think we all know that. But at the same time, I'm not overly concerned. I mean, the way he works, the way he goes about things, that's just a matter of time, in my opinion.
It's Packers GM Brian Gutekunst. And the Bucs' 3-game homestand continues tonight against the Toronto Raptors. Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news on WTMJ.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have one crash I want to let you know about in Milwaukee County, 4394 South at National. That's the 6th Street area. Right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. No emergency responders out there just yet, but I can see 2 cars, it looks like, involved in that crash. Traffic is moving a little bit slower at the moment. Traffic is not too heavy, though, so we'll see how long it takes to get this taken care of. If it takes longer and goes into the 12 o'clock hour, it could get busier and we could see significant slowdowns. But right now, everything is A-OK. 4394 South at National 6th Street, right shoulder blocked due to what looks to be a 2-car crash.
Traffic is brought to you by Rejuvenix, your non-surgical joint therapy experts.
Rejuvenix. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Well, kind of chilly today. We'll top out about 48 degrees, some clouds in the sky as well. Partly cloudy tonight and a low of 42. Partly cloudy on Wednesday. Rain arriving late and a high of 53. It's good to have some of that rain linger into Thursday morning with a high of 54. Not a lot of sun here the rest of the week. You'll see spots of it today, where it's currently 47 degrees. It's 11:09 on WTMJ.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Headed to the Bucks game tonight, Jessica? Are you going to the Bucks game? You are headed to the Bucks game tonight.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
With
officially.
a question mark. I do have tickets.
Okay, well, here's the deal. If you're going to the Bucks game tonight, you're going to notice a new floor.
Yeah.
So
is it dark? A dark blue one?
So I just sent the picture to Gina. She could probably get it up on our page here before too long. If you're following us along, text the word WATCH to 855-616-1620. So tonight's Bucks-Raptors game is not only a Bucks-Raptors game on a Tuesday night in November, but it's also the start of group play in the NBA's in-season tournament. So this was a thing the NBA launched last year, and I think it went over pretty well. They're trying to put more significance and importance behind games played in these sort of quieter months of the season leading up to the playoffs.
It has a fancy new name this year, too, doesn't it?
It's the Tournament Emeritus or the Emeritus Tournament or something like that. There is a fancy name. You're right. The Emeritus Cup, I think is what it's called. But nonetheless, so the Bucks will do this on Tuesdays and Fridays throughout the month of November, and then they get into the tournament portion of the tournament, if you want to call it that. So this is like group play. So you'll see a fancy court laid down, and the court is cool. It's got a big trophy in the middle with the Bucks logo. The court is very blue with sort of watermarked antlers in more of a lighter shade of blue, black trim on the outside on the baselines and the sidelines. So if you're headed to the game tonight, you'll notice a very different looking court, and this is why. It's part of the NBA's in-season tournament.
I do like blue as one of our colors. I think people are passionate one way or the other about that, but I thought that was kind of neat when they changed the makeup of the colors for the Bucks and they added that blue to signify the water. I think that's kind of neat. And they do have some merchandise, too, right now that focuses on the blue.
Yeah, no doubt. So Jessica will be there. You're wearing your blue today. Perfect. You are all set to go for tonight's Bucks game. One of the big stories that we're following today, it's 11:12.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, a shocking twist to a missing kayaker case. Investigators in Green Lake County now believe Ryan Bogwart faked his own death and left the country after meeting a woman online. The 45-year-old father of 3 was reported missing after kayaking back in August. ABC's Ava Pilgrim has the update.
Investigators became suspicious after they found out Borgart's name had been checked by Canadian law enforcement August 13th, the day after his disappearance. They discovered he'd gotten a new passport last January after reporting his missing, and he'd taken out a $375,000 life insurance policy. Investigators say Borgart had been communicating with a woman in Uzbekistan and even moved money to a foreign bank before disappearing.
Borgwart's car and trailer were parked on the bank of the lake. His kayak was found tipped over in the water. Search teams probed the deep waters of Green Lake for 54 days in hopes of finding this man. Coming up during our 12 o'clock hour, we'll talk with a Wisconsin man whose organization helped with that effort. His group searched that lake for months. Did he have a feeling something was off about this case? How does he feel now, knowing police believe this guy faked his own death? We're going to ask him.
Yeah, wild story. Well, 1 week ago, Donald Trump earned the requisite 270 Electoral College votes to become the next president. Today, he remains tangled up in the legal system. At the request of Trump's legal team, however, New York Judge Juan Merchan agrees to delay activity in Trump's hush money case until November 19th. ABC's Aaron Katersky.
Trump argued that conviction should be thrown out because of the U.S. Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. Trump was a private citizen when the $130,000 hush payment was made, but his attorneys argued prosecutors filled glaring holes in their case with evidence related to Trump's official acts as president, which the Supreme Court ruled to be off limits. That includes testimony from then White House Communications Director Hope Hicks and tweets about Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen.
So if the judge tosses out the conviction, he could order a new trial, or he could just throw out the indictment altogether. If he upholds the conviction, though, the judge will have to decide whether to move forward with sentencing Trump. If you want to go further down the legal path, I mean, it could result in 4 years in prison, but I don't think anybody believes that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks at this point that that's happening. Number 3, concern about the world's new space race. Headed to the inbox of the FCC, an open letter from more than 100 scientists demanding a temporary halt to satellite launches. ABC's Jim Ryan says they're concerned about the potential environmental impact.
3, 2, 1.
At Florida's Cape Canaveral Monday, spectators were treated to not 1,
3, 2, 1. Ignition.
but 2 SpaceX launches, one carrying a Korean communication satellite, the other hauling 24 Starlink satellites into orbit. In their letter to the FCC, the astronomers complained that no study has been done on the effect of mega constellations of satellites on air quality, on the risk to people on Earth, and the danger to astronauts aboard the International Space Station. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
So listen to this timeline. Back in 1986, just a few hundred satellites orbited Earth. That number is now up to nearly 10,000. And another tenfold increase is expected in the next decade. And I think about all those Starlinks. I mean, up in Door County, we have a Starlink just to help with, we're close to the lake right there, and the internet's not very good. So we ended up buying one of the Starlinks to help with that. And
so how does
there's
that work?
So many people.
Does it like sit on the roof? Is it in the house? Like where is it placed?
It's on the roof, and to be honest, we probably need to switch it to a different spot to make it a little bit better because it worked really, really good right when we first got it. Now it's slipped a little bit. But a lot of people have done the same thing just to get better coverage up in that area. But it took a while. I think we were on the wait list for about a year.
Wow, interesting. It's 11:16 on WTMJ. Lots to get to here on the program, including how to make your holiday season a little bit more palatable from a cost standpoint. It's 11:16.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our retirement-ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Mansick. Want to get you over to Potawatomi Sportsbook before too long. If you've not seen it yet, boy, you're really missing out. Go hang out, grab some food from the kitchen, enjoy a nice Wisconsin beverage, and watch whatever game you want to watch. I mean that sincerely. There's a 2,000-square-foot video wall. You will see the game you're looking to see, and it's a beautiful location. Still smells new. I love that, right? Kind of got that new car sort of smell. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook. They've got the self-serve kiosks. You can walk up to the counter for your wagers. And if you don't have a lot of time, you can also just pull into one of their 20-minute spaces to park and hop in, hop out. Just use the kiosks and boom, you are in and out in a jiffy. It's Potawatomi Casino Hotel and their brand new, gorgeous sportsbook. Stop in. We're there usually on Mondays and Wednesdays with some programming for ESPN Wisconsin. You can join us, hang out, and just enjoy your time with friends, families, who knows, whoever you want to hang out with. Do it at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Kind of a chilly day here. A lot of clouds, too. Might get some pops of sun, but clouds should be on the increase later this afternoon. We'll top out about 48 degrees. Overnight low of 40. Tomorrow looks much the same with a high of about 52. That's about 46 degrees right now and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:19.
There's a new effort to help stop suicides in memory of Milwaukee Alderman Jonathan Brostoff. The 41-year-old died by suicide last week. His many friends and loved ones, co-workers, and community members, too, were absolutely crushed. Levi Stein, executive director of the Friendship Circle of Wisconsin, was friends with the alderman, and he's behind this new We Can Save Lives tour. Thank you so much for being here today, because I think this is so important. We hear a lot of times talk about doing something. This is doing something.
Yes, I'm fed up with waiting around for something to happen. We're just going to take action, hit the roads, and we're going to travel across our state and our cities and just try to save as many lives as possible.
And I just want to say off the bat, too, so sorry for your loss.
It's my way of processing and making every day of his life count for something is to take what he stood for and just do good with it. That's what we want to do.
So what exactly is this? It's called We Can Save Lives Tour, 41 stops, 1,000 trainees, countless lives. What's happening? What's the idea here?
I got to know Jonathan through the work that we did in the mental health arena, through doing suicide prevention training. So it's a really good way to keep his memory alive. This particular training we're promoting now is what's called a Safe Talk Suicide Prevention Training. It's authored by Living Works. It's an evidence-based training, and it will statistically save a life within 90 days of every training given to 30 people. So we want to bring this to as many places as possible, and 41 stops for the 41 years that Jonathan lived, and we were just going to keep going.
Hey, you mentioned how you and Jonathan worked together, and it makes me wonder about warning signs, right? So you're kind of trained, I assume, going through this program to, you try and figure out if somebody might be struggling and what are those warning signs and how you step in to help. With each step of this tour, what are you aiming to accomplish as you go out and kind of make that community outreach?
When someone's having thoughts of suicide, they're usually not announcing it to the world. They're usually giving these subtle hints or invitations, as we call it, to very specific groups of people. So while one person may see no difference in the behavior of that person, someone else may notice something. And if you notice that, you really need to know what to do with that information. Obviously, when someone dies by suicide, usually there are people that will say, I didn't notice a thing. And then you'll meet someone else and they'll say, oh, I saw these signs, but I didn't know what to do. This training teaches you how to recognize those signs, how to ask the question, how to be a good listener, and then most importantly, how to keep them safe.
This is a 4-hour training, so I understand you can't tell us everything, but what are some of the things that people learn?
So again, when it comes to recognizing the signs, a lot of it is about change of character and someone who's maybe normally outgoing and bubbly and then they're more withdrawn. But every person who's withdrawn doesn't mean they're having thoughts of suicide. But it's definitely a reason to start the conversation. And then you might learn more about the person. And then you have to learn how to ask about suicide. If those invitations really stick around and they're there, and don't just say, you're going to be okay, or you can come talk to me. Those are fine things to say. But you have to ask directly about suicide, because if that's what's on the table, it's a matter of life and death, and we have to get them help.
How do you ask that question? Because that's something where I feel like a lot of people would think, well, this is awkward, and what if this person does not have any thoughts? Kind of feel like maybe I'm stepping over a boundary I shouldn't. So how do you? What would be one of the suggestions?
It is awkward, it is uncomfortable, and it should always be uncomfortable. We never want to be comfortable asking about suicide, but you have to ask directly. Because when you ask directly, you're somewhat like shocking the system with the question, and you'll get very often an honest answer, or an answer that opens up the door for you to get them help. And that's what you have to do.
How have you worked with the different communities you'll make these stops? So 41 stops. Is there some level of community outreach to sort of, solidify your position coming to town and going through these trainings?
Well, if you take a look at the poster, at all the supporters that signed on to it, it's unbelievable how many different pieces of the community are coming together to support this program. Supporting it means they're willing to share it, willing to host it, willing to endorse it, so to say. It's not a financial thing. We're doing all of this at no cost in memory of Jonathan. But we already scheduled about 10 trainings, and we have 31 more to schedule. So if someone wants to host, please reach out. We're happy to bring it to you.
And if you're watching on our YouTube page right now, I'm just going to hold this up for you. And you actually printed a new poster up because there are more supporters than there were to start with, and just dozens. You've got different aldermen here. You have Chief Aaron Lipsky, a friend of the program here. You've got Mayor Brian Kennedy, Visit Milwaukee. I mean, just very familiar names here without a doubt, but a show of support from a wide group of people for how important this is. I know you are a licensed Safe Talk suicide prevention trainer. How did you initially get involved in this? Why were you passionate about it and saying, you know what, I got to do something?
So it was right after COVID when at Friendship Circle, we have hundreds of teens that volunteer to befriend kids with disabilities. And that's a lot of what we do at our core. And so many of our teens were struggling with thoughts of suicide. And we had 2 people attempt suicide. And I'm like, we got to do something about it. Milwaukee does have some good resources for mental health. But what about the general community? How do they know how to get to those resources? So I started researching the different trainings, and unfortunately, there was very few suicide prevention trainings being offered at that time. So I'm like, again, same theory, I'm done waiting around for others to do something, and I had to travel to Seattle for 2 weeks to get trained. And then I came back here, and we've been doing it ever since. And Jonathan helped me with one of the first trainings that we set up. He helped me set it up, and he's been with me throughout this whole journey.
And I can't help but think just how the more shocking his passing was, right? I mean, you're there with him. You're on the ground floor of developing this. You understand the importance. You know what warning signs are. I mean, how much of a shock was this to you?
It was. I'm still at a loss for words. But what I know is it's very common for people close to you not to see the signs. This happens often with a parent to a child or a child to a parent. They see nothing, but meanwhile, a more distant friend might see those signs. And every person's life is different, which is why we need to train as many people as possible.
I know there's some people listening right now who are thinking, I want to get involved in this. I want to be trained. How can they go about doing so?
Go to our website, fcwi.org/save lives, and sign up for a training. Or reach out, send us an email on our website, and offer to host a training. Every training can save a life, 2 lives, or many lives, and we don't want to wait any longer.
The first one coming up on the 21st, 12 p.m. in Cudahy at the Kelly Senior Center. Thank you so much for your work and this effort. And the alderman, it was unbelievable. To see the news, so shocking to so many people. And you can see just taking a moment on social media, you can see how many lives he impacted. And certainly you'll still be impacting lives through this.
Yes, I always thought I was his best friend, but I learned that another 2,000 to 3,000 people felt the same way. So,
Levi Stein joining us here in the studio. Friendship Circle of Wisconsin, the executive director. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's an honor.
It's 11:27 on WTMJ. News coming up in a few.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, West Bend Vacuum Center and CertaPro Painters. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hey, if your system at home needs a bit of an upgrade, got an idea for you. It's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Want to send you to Flanners Home Entertainment. It's a name you've known for years here in Wisconsin. Have you been in recently? West Allis, Grafton, or even at Flanners.com? You'll see all the cool stuff, all the new stuff, all the beautiful stuff. Ways that you can wire up your entire house with speakers right there in the ceiling, or maybe the walls. Maybe it's a new flat screen TV. Maybe it's a little more simple. You need some cords and cables to make those connections extra tight. Maybe it's something as simple as a nice Bluetooth speaker for out on the patio. Flanners can help you with all of the above. Big or small, they are the folks to count on here. Locally owned Flanners. If you want to watch the big game on a better screen, higher resolution, better picture, better sound, movie nights, you name it, it's Flanners Home Entertainment. Quality service, the best brands, guaranteed best price, all top priorities. Go in there. You'll see what I'm talking about. Connect with the folks at Flanners. They truly are the experts. It's sound advice at the best price. Flanners Home Entertainment. Just press play.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
When you work with us, you'll know what you're going to get. And most importantly, you'll know exactly what you're going to pay us to list and sell your home. Talk to any Benefit Realty agent and ask about our commission. You will always get the same answer. You may find that others aren't ready to be as straightforward as we are right off the bat. They may try to meet with you first, and from there, you'll probably have to haggle your commission. And if you're lucky, you might be able to get them to reduce their commission to what we charge. But who wants that? Benefit Realty is going to make this easy for you, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. And we even one-up it from there. We cap our commission, so that no matter what size property you're selling, for the listing side of your sale, your savings will be substantial. And if you're selling a luxury portfolio kind of home, substantial is an understatement. And finally, if you're not happy at any time with the service you're getting, we won't hold you to the term of your contract. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
If you own a company or you're in management, you know how valuable your local employees are. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Show your gratitude with a company holiday party at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, recently voted the best supper club in the area. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Half your employees' dinners are free, saving your company hundreds of dollars, and they get a great dinner in a fantastic atmosphere. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine Forest, the warmth and aroma of the real wood-burning fireplaces hits you as soon as you walk in the door. And the holiday decorations are incredible, putting your employees in the holiday spirit. Gift cards make perfect holiday gifts. With the buy one dinner, get one free offer, it's like getting a free gift card. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. I love this place. Book your company holiday party and order your gift cards today at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Relax tonight. Enjoy your free dinner. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
It's 11:31. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, November 12th. Your top story, reforms coming for Milwaukee's Housing Authority.
I'm Jessica Ty, continuing to honor our veterans.
Clouds are rolling in. We'll top out about 48 degrees today. Overnight low of 42. Partly cloudy on Wednesday. Rain expected late and a high of 53. 44 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee. At 11:32 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, Milwaukee advocacy group Common Ground achieves another step towards reforming the housing authority of the city of Milwaukee. On Monday, the Common Council's Steering and Rules Committee unanimously approved 3 new nominees for the Hackham Board of Commissioners. They include West Lawn Resident Organization President Jackie Burrell, Human Resources Professional Charlotte Hazlett, and Alderwoman Charlene Moore. The nominees will next be voted on by the full Common Council.
Another local Walgreens is closing. The store at 91st and Appleton is scheduled to close by December 3rd. This will be the 5th Walgreens in Milwaukee to close in less than 2 years. This comes after the pharmacy chain announced plans to close 1,200 stores across the country by 2027.
Well, former teachers continue to speak out against the superintendent in Fond du Lac. At Monday's school board meeting, this former teacher tells our partners at NBC 26 about the negative culture created by Superintendent Jeffrey Flagg.
I've heard things like I have to keep my head down to avoid a target on my back, or we're afraid of losing our job. When people who are on the front line teaching our children are afraid to speak, true collaboration cannot take place.
While Flagg was not at the meeting, he did have supporters.
If someone directly verbally attacks staff, including the superintendent, as part of the public comment, I recommend the person get cut off pursuant to school policy. In my opinion, it is inappropriate to call someone a bully.
And some are calling for the school board to investigate Flagg's actions.
12 planes, 6 flights, more than 700 veterans. That's how many made the trip to Washington, D.C. this year as part of the Stars and Stripes honor flights. You didn't have to see combat to be honored.
For the vets that didn't serve in combat zones, that think, I didn't deserve it, let's let the other guys go, most of them have gone. and it's their turn. They sacrificed, they gave up holidays and birthdays and time with family to serve our country. So regardless of the role, active duty in June of 75 or earlier, it's your time.
Veterans get to make the trip for free.
Working to save lives in honor of late Alderman Jonathan Brostoff.
The best way for me to celebrate his life is not to let anyone else struggle alone. We want to just train as many people as possible.
Rabbi Levi Stein was friends with Brostoff. He's putting together a We Can Save Lives tour across Wisconsin, offering free Safe Talk suicide prevention training sessions.
They're a 4-hour training. We're offering them at no charge in honor of Jonathan Brostoff to really continue his legacy and make sure that no one else goes through what he went through. And we're going to keep doing them almost weekly.
Jessica Gatzo, WTMJ News.
Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sounding Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up at 11:35.
Libby Collins here from my friends at Seniors Helping Seniors of Waukesha. They know maintaining independence is one of the greatest concerns for seniors, and that's why for over a decade, they've been serving southeastern Wisconsin, offering personalized in-home care to fit each senior's unique needs. From help with daily tasks like bathing, meal prep, and transportation, to companionship and light housekeeping, caregivers make it possible for seniors to stay in the homes they love without a contract. Interested in becoming a caregiver? Contact Seniors Helping Seniors today. shswaukesha.com.
I am trying to spread the word. Elders do not have to lose everything at the end of life paying for nursing care or assisted living.
Dan Kraus from Kraus Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
If you have assets over $150,000, it often makes sense to work with an experienced elder law attorney to save as much as possible from the devastating cost of nursing care for your security, for your family.
Contact Dan at Kraus Estate Planning and Elder Law Center today. SaveMomsAssets.com.
David Nason here, your trusted Fix-It-Show guy, here to give you some essential home maintenance advice. If you're dealing with leaks, stains, cracks in your basement, it's time to call the experts I trust at Accurate Basement Repair. They've fixed many of our listeners' basements and the results were fantastic. Dry, secure, and peace of mind restored. Don't let basement issues mess up your home. Trust Accurate Basement Repair to get the job done right. Call them today.
Thanks, David. Accurate Basement Repair. We're not just good, we're accurate.
Sweet, flaky, and utterly delicious. That's the famous Kringle from O&H Danish Bakery. Guaranteed to get you on the nice list, O&H Danish Bakery can deliver that heavenly goodness right to your doorstep. Now that's a memorable gift where you know you've nailed it. And it arrives fresh in just 2 business days, anywhere within the country. Order online today, ohdanishbakery.com, or come on in to O&H Danish Bakery in Racine, Oak Creek, or Sturnivan and taste the difference of bakery made from scratch.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers travel to Chicago to face the Bears on Sunday. Chicago has lost 3 straight, and they fired their offensive coordinator today. That's how good things are going south of the border. Jordan Love currently tied for the league lead in interceptions with 10.
It has to get better. I mean, I think we all know that. But at the same time, I'm not overly concerned. I mean, the way he works, the way he goes about things, that's just a matter of time, in my opinion.
Packers GM Brian Gutekunst stand the Bucks. 3-game homestand continues tonight against the Raptors. It's game 1 of group play for the NBA's in-season tournament. Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. The crash that I told you about in Milwaukee, about 30 minutes ago, that's cleared. Great news. Just a couple disabled vehicles out in the system, including one in Milwaukee County, out in the Tosa area, 4145 south, a little bit beyond the ramp from North Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked because of a disabled vehicle there, and that's a busy spot, so I want to let you know about that one. Also in Milwaukee County, but down by St. Francis, we have Wisconsin 794 on 794 beyond Layton, just a little bit beyond Layton on 794. Right lane is closed because of a car that's broken down there.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Or visit Heiser.com because today's your day.
A lot of clouds today. Temperatures not terribly warm, a high of 48. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 42. Rain in the forecast for late on Wednesday, otherwise partly cloudy and a high of 53. 43 degrees. A lot of clouds in Milwaukee at 11:38. I don't know about you, but November 5th feels like a month ago. It feels like the election was a long time ago, but here we are. The dust is starting to settle with final votes trickling in, different totals from different states over the weekend, battleground states to be sure. And the dust is settled on the 2024 election. There is an eye-popping result in the number of split ticket outcomes. But before we get into that, I wanted to welcome in ABC's Jeffrey Skelly, senior elections analyst from 538. Jeffrey, more of a broad view, were there any abnormalities with the way the election tracked?
I mean, I think, look, there was some degree of polling error, but there always is. And the way it played out is that Trump did slightly better than where the polls were. It was not on the level of 2016 or 2020. So in that sense, there was less error than we saw in those elections. But I think coming into the election, the way we looked at it was it's a really close race. And if one candidate sort of overperforms where the polls have things, if there's a 2-point error in one direction or the other, that candidate may very well win most or all the swing states. And that's exactly how it played out because Donald Trump overperformed by a couple points and he won all the swing states. And so that, in that sense, it wasn't a shocking result. You know, as the returns were coming in on election night, and I was looking at the trends, you know, it was sort of like, well, I can see where this is going because of what we had sort of seen in the lead up to things.
Ticket splitting voters helped Trump carry our state, Wisconsin, Michigan, and North Carolina. Here we reelected Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin over Republican challenger Eric Hovde, even while giving our 10 electoral college votes to Trump. I have a couple of guesses as to why that happened, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. So Wisconsin and Michigan were two of the 4 Senate split tickets that we saw. So typically, the party that wins the state at the presidential level, if there's also a Senate race in that state at the same time, typically the same party wins the Senate race. And most states aren't that close, so that's part of it. But this time around, we did see 4 states, Michigan, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Arizona, with outcomes where Trump carried the state at the presidential level, but Democrats narrowly won the Senate race. And that was really important, given that if Republicans had won, I mean, it's important for the Democrats in the Senate. I mean, they're going to be in the minority, but instead of having 47 seats, they would have only had like 43. So it was very important that they got those split ticket results in the end. And, you know, in terms of why that happened, it's interesting. I think it varies a little bit from state to state. I think, you know, thinking about Wisconsin, Tammy Baldwin won re-election in part because she won slightly more votes than Harris, very slightly. But typically you see some ballot roll-off, which is basically where people vote for, say, president, but they don't vote for in any of the other races.
Yes.
And so the fact that Baldwin won about the same and even slightly more than Harris did was a signal that maybe a handful, you know, a small number of people who voted for Trump also voted for her. But also there was a third-party candidate who won some votes, and they may have been Trump. Some of them may have been Trump voters because Eric Hovde won about 3% fewer votes than Trump did. And so if you're sort of doing all the math there, looking at where things went, I think that's also an important consideration.
How often in other states did you see voters, like here in Wisconsin, just vote for president and say, I'm out on the others, I'm not choosing?
I think it was more common in a place like Nevada from the looks of things than Wisconsin, also potentially Michigan as well. Which is interesting. So in Nevada in particular, so Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen narrowly won re-election there, but she won roughly the same number of votes as Harris, slightly fewer, very slight, like a half percentage point fewer. And I'm just talking about the raw vote totals here, not the margins or anything. And then the Republican nominee on the other side won 10% fewer votes than Trump. Now, where'd those votes go? Well, some of them went to Nevada's unique none of these candidates option. They have a none of the above option in Nevada, the only state that has that. But some third party candidates who are running in the Senate race and not the presidential race. However, I think if you're just looking at the totals, there's also just the reality that clearly some voters only showed up or only voted for Trump and did not choose to cast a ballot in the Senate race. And, you know, we saw that to a smaller degree in Wisconsin, much smaller degree in Wisconsin than in Nevada, but also in Michigan. And then the one place where there does seem like there were actually probably a fair number of Trump voters who voted for the Democratic nominee for Senate was in Arizona, because Ruben Gallego, the Democratic nominee for Senate there, won 6% more raw votes than Harris did, which was very different from the other three races I'm talking about, where it was pretty similar between Harris and the Democratic nominee for Senate in terms of raw vote totals. And then on the Republican side, Carrie Lake, she won about 10% fewer votes than Trump in Arizona. So clearly some of those Trump voters ended up in Gallego's column when it came to the Senate race. And so that was a pretty pronounced difference from those other split ticket outcomes.
You know, we were watching very closely here, Jeffrey, in Wisconsin to see if, you know, there would be a segment of Republicans who just thought, you know what, I'm a Republican, but I just can't vote for Trump. You know, that was some of the discussion leading up to Election Day, that Republicans, some very much backed Trump, but some just decided that he wasn't the right person for the job. But that gap in votes with Harris and Tammy Baldwin on the Senate side, there was never a gap there. It always stayed pretty consistent in Waukesha County, a historically red county in the state of Wisconsin. To me, once I saw those numbers kind of track the way they tracked, that felt like bad news for anybody who voted for Harris. That gap never materialized.
No, I mean, exactly. What's really fascinating about this is that in 2016 and 2020, Republicans down ballot tended to outperform Donald Trump. But in this election, it's more of a mixed picture. But in a lot of these key Senate races, for instance, the Republican Senate candidate clearly underperformed Trump. And so Trump ran ahead. And there's, to some extent, I think in the early House returns, we're seeing that also has held up to some extent, too. Although that picture will not be clear for some time. It's a lot harder to get to all the district by district numbers for the U.S. House than just the statewide totals for Senate and governor. But that's an interesting shift. And, you know, maybe it may say something about people's general dissatisfaction with the status quo, but not that they necessarily view the Republican Party as the solution to all this, but some people clearly viewed Trump as a solution, or at least someone who would offer something substantially different from, say, Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, who obviously is part of that administration. Since Biden has a 40% or so approval rating, if you sort of take Trump out of the equation, because obviously he has this unique brand and this, you know, is in such a whirlwind and changed our politics in some ways. If you sort of just put it in historical context, it's like, well, incumbent presidential party at 40% approval for that president, they don't usually win. And so in a weird way, this election was kind of normal in that sense.
Real quickly, do you think ticket splitters are more casual voters?
Oh, that's tough to say. I think it could be actually a combination of people who are actually pretty engaged, where they might be actually highly engaged, but they're ideologically moderate, and they end up sort of, it's known as balancing. So they might say, well, we need to change. Trump can represent that, but maybe I don't necessarily want to give him free reign. So I'll vote for the Democrats for Senate.
Interesting.
But at the same time, I think, you know, some casual voters also inevitably, perhaps because they have their lower information. So it's actually, maybe it's kind of a weird high information, low information voter thing where that's most common.
Fascinating answer.
ABC's Jeffrey Skelly from 538. Appreciate your time, Jeffrey, all throughout the process here. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Do you remember that electric moment when you suddenly realized that she was the one?
The one you were going to love forever.
The one you'd been waiting your whole life to meet.
She is the one.
The one.
Now it's time to find the one engagement ring that sparkles like she does.
Come to Kessler's Diamonds. We have a collection of incredibly special diamond engagement rings called the One Collection.
You need one special engagement ring for the one woman you will ever love.
Kessler's Diamonds is the one jewelry store where you can find the One Collection.
And Kessler's is the one store that offers the world-famous, no excuses, no fine print, lifetime warranty on every diamond engagement ring we sell.
We have the freedom to do this for you because Kessler's Diamonds is the one diamond store owned by its employees.
The One Collection starts at just $550.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you feel self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
This is Richard Salinas, registered nurse with Rejuvenex Arthritis Clinics, and I want to talk about exactly what we do. When you come here, you're going to get 2 shots with 2 very small needles. One will be a medication called Toradol, which is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, completely different from a standard steroid or cortisone injection. This medication is safe and a great pain reliever. The other will be hyaluronic acid, which is a naturally occurring fluid found in all of our joints. What hyaluronic acid does is it helps recoat the inside surfaces to provide cushioning and lubrication. It helps slow down the osteoarthritis process to a point where patients may not need surgery. All of this combined with using our state-of-the-art Ultra G machine developed by NASA has produced profound results. What we do works. And the best part about this is that insurance covers most of our patients' treatments. Go to Rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
We know what you're thinking, and all we can tell you is to drive careful.
Yep, Wisconsin roads are no joke this time of year, especially when you're driving on old, worn-out tires.
Schedule yourself a tire appointment with Richlands. We carry all sorts of tire brands, including Goodyear, Kelly, Continental, and General, to name a few.
And every tire we install automatically comes with free tire mounting, free lifetime tire rotation, free flat tire repairs, and free alignment inspections.
Not to mention free wheel corrosion cleaning, lifetime warranty spin balance, and prorated tire protection.
Let's just say, if you're driving around town, especially this time of year on old, worn-out tires, you're due for tire service.
Courtney's right. And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you have good tread on your tires, because cold, wet, icy roads are no joke. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, and you're due for service.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Cloudy and kind of a chilly day today, a high of 48 degrees. If it's not cloudy by you yet, it certainly will be before the end of the day. Overnight low of 40, so not too bad, not a big temperature dip. Tomorrow, expect some rain late and a high of 53 under cloudy skies. It's 43 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 11:51. You ever dive into the world of Google searches? What pops up in the world of analytics on Google? Most commonly searched, like we're getting closer to Thanksgiving, so how to cook a turkey might become one of the most popular Google
way, you
searched
just call
items.
the Butterball number for
well,
that.
you can do that. They might tell you to smoke it or spatchcock it, which I learned about last
Wait,
year.
what?
You ever spatchcocked a turkey?
I've never even heard of that.
All right, well, we'll get into that later this month.
What the heck is that?
Spatchcocking a turkey.
Tell me more.
It's where you kind of flare the legs out, and then you put the breast down on your grill grate or in your oven, and it evenly cooks the turkey.
Oh.
It's not like a big ball of a turkey. You kind of spread out the legs, and it's called spatchcocking.
Does it stay juicy?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sure does.
Ding, ding, ding. That sounds good.
We may call our Butterball hotline before too long. Well, following the election, a couple of very popular search items hit on Google. Number one was, how do I change my vote?
I didn't believe this. No way. What?
You can't. I'm sorry. What's done is done. And if you cast a vote, regardless of who you cast it for, that vote is cast. You can't go back. There's no go-back system, no do-overs.
I'm just trying to figure out why people were looking to do that. Did people vote so far in advance, like day one when early voting was available in their state?
Maybe.
And then all of a sudden they learned more about a candidate and thought, I want to change my vote? Like, who was actually Googling this? Why?
Right.
What happened? Why did they want to change the vote? I need to know more.
Well, your point about early voting is a legitimate one, or any sort of absentee ballot, right? You could have done that several months ago. Early voting was an option for many in our country, and the totals for early voting were significant for those who chose not to vote actually on Election Day. But I am with you. What did you learn in the last, month or so since you've cast your vote that would make you want to change? And number two, the next biggest thing on Google, what's a tariff? Google searches for term tariff spike after Donald Trump elected as president. And there's this talk about how, restrictions could be put in place in trading with China and other foreign countries and so on. The word tariff being tossed around here and searched frequently now that Trump is back in office.
Yeah, the spike, more than 1,000% since the election. That's wild. 1,650%. Also, searches for who pays tariffs have gone up 350% since the election. So, but if you think about it, do most people know the ins and outs of tariffs? Probably not.
I kind of know what it is, right? I mean, I know enough where I don't think I need to Google search it.
But like the ins and that, yes, like the basic. But there might be people wanting to know more. So maybe I'm going to give the American people the benefit of the doubt with that. They want to know more.
Possibly.
But the question is, what is a tariff, I guess?
Well, yes, but this is part of Trump's platform to impose tariffs, 10 to 20% across all imports into the United States. There might be some more on certain goods imported from China. So it's a part of his platform. It's been talked about much more on his side than the other side, right? I don't know that this search would be quite as frequent here if Kamala Harris had been president-elect following the results of last week.
What would your Google search entail?
Right now? I kind of want to go back to spatchcocking a turkey just to make sure I explained it right.
Well, I've thought about this in the past just because with my news mind and how many weird, wacky, wild, bad things I've probably searched in my day. I've always thought this is probably the news mind connected with maybe watching too many episodes of Dateline. Like, what if something happened to me and then all of a sudden the police came in? And we're like, we got to go back through her Google search.
They'd look
like all the wild, like, what was this woman looking up? I think about that sometimes.
Okay. Well, if spatchcocking is the most recent.
I have never Googled that.
Well, there you go. I got you a little opportunity here during the news break.
I learned something new today.
You could do that. Hey, coming up here on Wednesday, if you've not heard about this, it's going to be a lot of fun. You can test your trivia acumen on Wednesday. It's tomorrow. It's WTMJ's Trivia Showdown. It's presented by Quizmaster Trivia, and this is all in support of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, a great initiative here at WTMJ. So Vince Vitrano and Greg Hill, the Pancake, are going to be at Cafe Hollander in Wauwatosa tomorrow. Again, it's a trivia showdown. Vinny and Greg will be hosting it, and it supports Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. There's great prizes as well, including $150 gift card to the Lowlands Restaurant Group, which Cafe Hollander is a part of. So is Cafe Benelux. There are others. It's great. And if you can't make it tomorrow, there will be more. In fact, Eric Bilstead and I will be at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls on the 20th. You can join us out there.
And then they thought we were going to be so good teaming up that they had to split us up.
Yeah.
It was like, we can't have those trivia experts on the same night. So I'm going to be on December 11th at 7 p.m., Wednesday, December 11th, out in Waukesha at North Pillar Brewing. I'm going to be out there with Sandy Max, Jeff Sherman, and it's just going to be a good time. Who did you pick when they asked us who's going to win trivia?
Best at trivia, I said Scafidi.
I did too. Okay. Well,
And then
we're on the same page.
worst at trivia, I also said Scafidi.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. Thought I'd play neutral there.
I actually said I might be the worst.
Okay. I don't believe that. Believe that.
It depends. Sometimes I can come out with a wild answer like, whoa, how did she think of that? But then other times too, I think, like in history class back in the day, I was always good with the story, but remembering the name or the dates, I would remember it for the test, and then it was like in the brain and out.
I answered a trivia question today. Eric and I were cutting our promo, and he said, what is the oldest dog breed? And
You did
I said,
get that one.
Saluki, off the top of my head, and it's true.
Why does that? I felt like I knew that one too, and it seems like a very random thing. I mean, SIU, I did work in that area, but it seems like one of those trivia questions that other people might know too.
I just think
but it
back
is
to
random.
old Egyptian times, right? There's dogs commonly, and back in the old days of Egypt and pharaohs and whatnot, and pyramids, which are really built by people with diminishing goals, but that's a different story for another time. There's a dog there. It's a Saluki. Yeah. Anyways, Cafe Hollander tomorrow is where you want to see Vinny and Pancake. Trivia begins at 7 o'clock, all part of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. This could be a lot of fun
Have a
here
blast,
this holiday
yeah.
season. News coming up.
Winter is coming.
Do I need my jacket?
Will I be too warm in a long sleeve tee?
Which means it's time for the NBA Cup.
Let's go!
And it's time for us to bring a little heat to warm up our neighbors to the north.
Green squeezes up a three, and he buries it from the right side.
It's the Bucks taking on the Raptors in the opening game of the in-season tournament.
Lobs up top to Giannis. Oh, what a play!
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage begins tonight at 6:30. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
By now you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Ben, are you okay?
I'm fine, Nicole. Ben had an idea to promote the Avery Bedroom Collection from Penny Mustard.
The Avery Bedroom is gorgeous.
Sure is.
If the Avery Bedroom was a lady, she'd have an hourglass figure.
Well, to accentuate the curves of the Avery Bedroom, Ben is wearing...
Don't say it.
A girdle.
Are you in pain?
Not anymore. I lost feeling in my legs a couple hours ago. The Avery Bedroom Collection, starting at $53.80 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
Welcome back to Ask Hassellus.
Where the heck is everybody?
Hassellus Mattress Showrooms are employee-free. Test your Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper without salespeople breathing down your neck.
Okay.
That means we can sell for way less. Our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393.
Yes, but...
And through Monday, get an extra $248 credit just for shopping local.
I just have one question.
What's that?
Where the heck is everybody?
Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassellus.com.
So if you're selling a $2 million home and you found yourself what you thought was a pretty good deal on your real estate commission, at say about 3.6%, you'd pay $72,000 in real estate commission. Not bad, right? Well, your Benefit Realty agent will charge you no more than $19,000 no matter what size property you're selling for the listing side of your sale. And it all comes with the full service you'd expect from an experienced real estate brokerage. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com. We've saved our clients over $19 million in real estate commission. Now, I say this because that's a pretty big number, but I also bring it up because it's always been cool for us to save our clients money. It's not about being the top volume agency. Over here, it's more about you. And at 1.9% commission with a cap on our commission for the listing side of your sale, no matter what size property you're selling, you will save substantially. This is Angela Calais with Benefit Realty, where you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests. Those dinosaur arms don't have the reach that these guys have.
Giannis the other direction. He's going to tee one up from three. And why not? Lopez casts up the three, and he sticks it, fades and fires. What a shot. A.J. Green.
The Bucks and Raptors face off with our coverage starting tonight at 6 with Bucks Shoot Around. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, November 12th. Your top story, found safe after wandering in Madison.
I'm Jessica Ty, kicking off the holiday season in Milwaukee.
Out of a cloudy day here, high of 48 degrees. Cloudy tonight, a low of 42. Wednesday, partly cloudy, rain expected late, and a high of 53. It's 43 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:03. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a young child back home after being found alone at a gas station in Madison.
Police were called to a gas station late Monday afternoon where a child was found without shoes, dressed in a costume. A spokesperson says people who live nearby recognized the child. When police brought the young one home, there was an adult there who had fallen asleep. Now, Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes said the child had a history of running from the house. Child Protective Services was called to investigate. Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Investing in Wisconsin public schools. State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Dr. Jill Underly, announcing her proposal for the state's biennial budget.
And proposing an additional $3 billion investment in direct aid to schools to sustain and improve public education in the state of Wisconsin.
The total budget request is $4 billion. It would reduce the need for referendums and property taxes, increase per student and general aid, and offset costs for state-mandated special education services.
Milwaukee has a Christmas tree, their 111th annual, officially marking the start to the city's holiday season.
After a rare above-ground cut, Milwaukee's 111th annual Christmas tree is en route to Deer District, where it will be lit up on December 5th.
This is an incredible specimen.
Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ it takes a lot of great workers to get this job done.
The Department of Public Works, particularly our forestry crews, they are incredibly impressive in the work that they do. This is the first time where they actually had to climb the tree because this tree was just so gargantuan.
On Milwaukee's west side, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
I love that the mayor called the tree an incredible specimen.
It's monster. It's huge. Gotta get that thing craned up and transported to the Deer District.
It's always a sight every year. Well, $1 million in debt relief for Wisconsin veterans thanks to a unique partnership with the Milwaukee Bucks. Verizon is partnering with the Bucks to benefit local veterans just in time for the holidays. Andy Brady with Verizon.
We're working with a company called Forgiveco, and Forgiveco gives us the ability to work with these veterans, and essentially buy down their debt and wipe that clean, no strings attached.
Qualifying veterans will get a letter in the mail letting them know just how much of their debt is forgiven. The program will erase $250,000 in veteran debt every week from Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Well, at least 3 of President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks will impact the Republican majorities in both the House and Senate. News Nation's Tom Dempsey.
Senator Marco Rubio from Florida expected to be the nominee for Secretary of State, as well as Congresswoman Elise Stefanik for UN Ambassador and Congressman Michael Waltz as National Security Advisor. That will leave immediate openings, though, on the Hill for Republicans. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis would appoint a replacement for Senator Rubio until a special election can be held during the 2026 midterms. However, voters will elect replacements for Stefanik and Waltz.
Stefanik won with nearly 25%. Waltz won by more than 30%. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All the indices in the red today. The Dow down quite a bit, down about 355 points at 43,941. NASDAQ off 110 at 19,189. S&P 500 also down today about 40 points at 5964. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, and Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
The Packers are about to face the Bears. We'll look ahead next. Sports, traffic, and weather coming up. Sonny Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:06.
James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner. JamesImaging.com.
After a series of meetings with the James Imaging Systems sales rep, Matheson Manufacturing chose document imaging technology from James. Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leininger.
They have a reputation out in the field. They've been around for a long, long time. I was really impressed with it.
I also understand you're impressed with the document imaging technology.
Yes, it's quicker, it's faster. We can do a lot more with the copy functions.
James Imaging Systems, better document imaging technology, better support, even lower printing costs.
Yes, definitely. I think the lease is very cost effective for us. It certainly helps with cash flow, and it's just good.
Al, anything else you'd like to add about your experience with James Imaging Systems?
Yes, James Imaging has been a really good partner with us from the beginning.
Start your business technology partnership with James Imaging Systems today. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Debbie Lazaga here for Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. This month only, get $1,000 off and 0 interest for 12 months on your Luckstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote, with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Sweet, flaky, and utterly delicious. That's the famous Kringle from O&H Danish Bakery. Guaranteed to get you on the nice list, O&H Danish Bakery can deliver that heavenly goodness right to your doorstep. Now that's a memorable gift where you know you've nailed it. And it arrives fresh in just 2 business days, anywhere within the country. Order online today, ohndanishbakery.com, or come on in to O&H Danish Bakery in Racine, Oak Creek, or Sturnivan and taste the difference of bakery made from scratch.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Packers travel to Chicago to face the Bears on Sunday. Bears have lost 3 straight, and they fired their offensive coordinator today. That's how well things are going in Chicago. Meanwhile, Packers quarterback Jordan Love currently tied for the league lead in interceptions with 10.
It has to get better. I mean, I think we all know that. But at the same time, I'm not overly concerned. I mean, the way he works, the way he goes about things, that's just a matter of time, in my opinion.
It's Packers GM Brian Gutekunst. And the Bucs are on the home floor again tonight. Game 2 of a 3-game homestand. The Raptors are in town from Toronto. Game 1 of group play for the NBA's in-season tournament. Coverage gets underway following the 6 o'clock news.
Let's check out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. No crashes right now, which is good news. A couple disabled vehicles out on the system, 2 in Milwaukee County right now. The first one, 41894 North, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Beloit Road. Oh, actually, nope. That one's actually a crash, so we do have a crash. That one just popped up, 3 minutes ago. So this is new, 41894 North, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Beloit. Right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. I'm not seeing any backups yet, though, but once again, that just popped up within the last 3 minutes here. And a disabled vehicle on the exit to Elm Road from 4194 North. A disabled vehicle on the exit to Elm Road from 4194 North.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Help fellow commuters. Report accidents and slowdowns to the Hall Volkswagen Traffic Tip Line. 414-238-9329. Visit Hall Volkswagen during Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event.
Partly cloudy today, a high of 48 degrees. Partly cloudy tonight and a low of 42. Partly cloudy on Wednesday. Chance of rain late and a high of 53. Morning rain on Thursday, then mostly cloudy and a high of 54. In the 50s on Friday and Saturday, but clouds expected on both days. Not a lot of sun here over the next several days. 43 and cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:11.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
So the first Christmas tree has gone up in a household in our subdivision. I noticed it driving home because of the light emitting from the windows.
Wait, the lights were on it too?
Like the Christmas lights.
The
like
lights
it's full
were aglow?
on Christmas. Yes. Tree on, set to go.
Well, if it makes that family happy.
We had this discussion a little bit yesterday prior to the show because Gina has said she has gone full Christmas mode. We've talked about Starbucks unveiling their, they're out of pumpkin spice season. They're under their holiday menu, right, with refreshers and different coffees and all that.
We have decorations around here at GKB.
Yes, and even music. I noticed walking out of the place a couple days ago.
Target had music on Saturday. I was like, I do like the music. It's just a little early.
Yeah, so my contention is this. If you are hosting Thanksgiving, do you have Christmas stuff up in advance of Thanksgiving?
No.
And if you're not hosting Thanksgiving, do you have a tendency to put that stuff up earlier? We're not hosting Thanksgiving, but our stuff doesn't go up till after Thanksgiving. That's just sort of a rule in our household.
Well, here's the thing. We get a live Christmas tree. I just think it's fun to cut it down. I even think it's really neat because we do it in the city. I used to love it. Downtown, they had a spot where you can go and pick out trees. They don't have that particular spot right in the heart of downtown anymore. So we kind of end up going over by Whitefish Bay where that same company is now. But I just love going and getting a live one. I love walking in and just smelling that tree. Oh, it's lovely. So you can't get those too early. Otherwise, you get needles all over the ground before it's even Christmas.
That's a good point. You got to get through Christmas. We do the fake tree route. So, yes, ours stays down until at least December 1st. December 1st. I'm cool about that, or whatever that associated weekend is. I'm okay with that. But
That's a good time.
Thanksgiving have its due, people. It's 12:13. Some big stories that we're following here this afternoon.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
President-elect Donald Trump will officially take office in January, but will he take office as a convicted felon? Today, a judge was supposed to determine whether to dismiss the conviction in the hush money case or proceed with sentencing, but that's been delayed.
Trump's people asked for a delay. The DA's office agreed, saying that these are unprecedented times, and the judge has now given the DA's office until November 19th to decide how they may want to proceed, whether they're going to make any particular recommendations now that Trump is president-elect.
ABC News senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky there. Trump was convicted in May of 34 felony counts related to a hush money payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
Well, a number of airlines are suspending flights to Haiti after 2 U.S. passenger planes were hit by gunfire amid escalating gang violence in the Caribbean nation. Spirit Airlines Flight 951 under fire on Monday as it approached Haiti's Port-au-Prince airport. 48 people were on board. The flight was diverted to the Dominican Republic. Now JetBlue says it discovered a bullet hole in the exterior of one of its airplanes after it landed safely at JFK. CBS News transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve on what other airlines are doing.
The U.S. airlines that service Port-au-Prince Airport have all suspended service now. American Airlines, JetBlue, and Spirit. Spirit has said they've suspended service to both of the airports in Haiti that they serve, and they're going to evaluate when or if they resume. JetBlue, after discovering this incident after that plane landed back at JFK, has suspended service through at least December 2nd. American Airlines said through at least Thursday.
According to the U.S. Department of State, Haiti currently a level 4 travel risk, and that means do not travel. That is on the do not travel list. And since March, they have been under a state of emergency. All sorts of crimes here. Firearms, common, robbery, carjacking, sexual assault, kidnappings for ransom. That's a widespread issue. Do not travel to Haiti, and it looks like airlines are pausing as well.
Expect busy roads and skies this holiday season. ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
This year, Thanksgiving travel is expected to set records. The industry expecting 36.5 million airline seats to be scheduled, a nearly 5% increase over last year. The worst day for travel? Sunday, December 1st, when travelers return home. As for departing, consider leaving the Monday before Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving Day itself to save time and money.
One big issue facing airlines and the FAA is the shortage of air traffic controllers. The FAA hired more than 1,800 air traffic controllers this year, but it's still about 3,000 short of its goal. That's a lot of people to hire. 3,000 yet? The FAA is working to address the shortage through a number of initiatives, including expanding training partnerships.
That's part of the problem. There's not a lot of places to go to be trained properly. There's a place in Oklahoma you can do through the Air Force, but this is several months of training. It's not widespread. Not every state has a place where you can be properly trained.
Well, and an air traffic controller, that's a very important job.
Absolutely. No doubt about that. 12:16 on WTMJ.
The Upswing is your place for commerce and community.
Can it be a little hard to be a parent and a coach at the same time? I'm asking for a friend myself.
Hosted by Jeff Sherman.
I find myself, especially at basketball games with my children, literally sitting and physically putting my hand over my mouth.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together, we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
Happening now, Cathedral Square Park in Milwaukee is transforming into Community Spirit Park. I always love this, Greg. Every year, all of a sudden, right in the heart of downtown, all the trees are lit up, they're decorated, and then the lights, like those chandelier lights, go up downtown.
Yeah, those are cool. The blue little offshoots, if you're driving down Wisconsin Avenue. Milwaukee does a great job setting up for the holidays.
Fantastic. Let's dive into this and see what's happening right now and what's to come next week. We've got the Marketing, Events, and Social Media Manager at Milwaukee Downtown with us, Isabel Ulrich. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Congrats on the new job, too.
Thank you.
And you're a Milwaukee native, so this is just full circle for you?
Oh, yeah. I get to plan the events that I used to go to as a kid, so pretty fun.
What a blast. So tell us what's happening at Cathedral Square Park right now, because you were just down there.
Yeah. Well, it's a gorgeous day. We have about 130 evergreen trees in the park right now, and we have this week, starting today, going until next week, we have 1,600 school children coming and decorating the park with their handmade ornaments.
That is amazing. It's so cool. And we take our family, our girls down there every year just to kind of tour the lights and all that. We go to for dinner and get hot cocoa and do that whole thing.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it, but I love seeing the signs up there, right? You kind of see every different outlet, every different school that came by to have a hand in decorating. And it's beautiful. They do a great job.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see it all. We already had a few schools that come in today, and just seeing their hard work. I mean, some of them started these ornaments at the beginning of the school year, and seeing it all showing off in the park downtown is really special.
Do you know how the kids decide how they're going to decorate? Do they get a theme each year, or do they pick their own themes? How does that work? Because it is really neat to go see how each tree is different and has its own identity.
Totally. Yeah, they get to pick their own theme. And a lot of these schools have been coming here year after year. So I think maybe they get inspired from previous years, or just, something that means something special to the school. But all the themes are so unique, and it's really fun to see.
How many kids did you say are involved in this?
Over 1,600.
Woo! They're not all down there at once, though, because can you imagine that? Woo, that'd be massive.
Yeah, you get them a lunch, you cater it. Like, you got to have something for them, right?
Yeah, we do provide cocoa and cookies.
There you go.
And candy canes. So.
Right to a kid's heart.
Yes.
So earlier, right before our show started, you had just a shout out to Milwaukee Academy of Excellence was down there. And then Goodrich Elementary School, which I'm trying to figure out if there's more than one Goodrich Elementary School in the area, because back in the day, I went to Goodrich Elementary School before I moved to Tonawanda in the Elm Grove area. It was the elementary school up on the hill. It was the best. So I don't know. Let me know if there's more than one out there. And then also coming up, actually happening in just minutes here, Gilbert Stewart Elementary School is going to be out there. So our kids going to be out there for the next few days until the big extravaganza with the Holiday Lights Festival.
Yep. So we have kids coming in every day until next Wednesday, and then we do have our big kickoff extravaganza on Thursday next week, the 21st, at Pure Marquette Park.
So what can people expect for that? Because that is always, that's something that families, they make it a tradition to go to every single year, and I know downtown Milwaukee always tries to make it a little different, to have something that you can keep coming back to that's new, too. What's fresh this year?
Yeah, so we have a fresh lineup. We have some people coming back who have performed in previous years, but this year we have, for instance, we have the Marquette University Gospel Choir joining us. We have Studio K Flamenco dancing. We have First Stage. So it's really a unique lineup. We have dance performances along with singers. So it's really going to be a great, fun live show, and really hoping people come down. Hopefully the weather is good. We can never really know what to expect in November, but...
And Santa, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
Santa. It's got to be Santa.
Got to be Santa.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So how does this all work together? Because I know this is sort of an initiative and school kids get behind it, but there's so many little pockets in Milwaukee where you can see lights. I think about Pure Marquette Park. And if you're going to a Bucks game in Deer District, you pop out of there and you kind of walk along the river and you see some beautiful lights set up there. I know that's just sort of a different sort of thing, but it underscores what Milwaukee does so well during this time. And that's set up and get you in the mood.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so we light up 4 parks downtown, Pure Marquette, Cathedral Square, Red Arrow, and Zeidler. And it's just so fun because really if you work downtown or you come downtown for, like you said, events, you're bound to see some sort of holiday decor. We're also in the process of setting up the chandeliers on Wisconsin Avenue. So really, Milwaukee's about to be really lit up for the holidays.
Can people jump on the Jingle Bus again this year?
Oh, yeah. Yep. The Jingle Bus is back. This year it starts December 5th and runs all the way through the 29th. It's on Thursdays and Sundays, 5 to 9 p.m. And we're working with a great bus company again this year. You can expect the warming house to be back where there's cookies and just a lot of holiday cheer. And we also will have free Jingle Bus rides on the night of kickoff at Pure Marquette. So if you want to see what it's like, hop on there.
That's like a 40-minute narrated tour. That's so neat. I mean,
Right, so it takes you
it's a
around
warm
downtown.
spot to sit, right? And look out at the lights.
Well, and there's cookies too. Like you're driving the point home here. The Christmas cookies
Oh,
are
yeah.
definitely part of the season.
The chandeliers, can I just say, they're such a sight. I love them. I never want them to go down because there's something about... They're just classy, too, right? It's not like they're red and green, so it just feels like they could stay up all winter long. I'm always a little bummed when they finally go down. But the wind downtown sometimes, it's wild. Have you ever noticed that, Greg, when all of a sudden the wind is just wicked and the chandeliers are like, woo!
Well, having lived on Wisconsin Avenue for a couple of years and having that as part of my run route around downtown, yeah, you always wanted the wind at your back on Wisconsin Avenue. If you were in it, you weren't moving very well. So, yes, very familiar with the wind tunnel on Wisconsin Avenue.
All right. Well,
it's
going to be beautiful coming up. Since you are a native of Milwaukee, do you have any, just to take us back real quickly for a moment, do you have any fun memories of being a kid in Milwaukee around the holidays?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really do remember the kickoff event because it's so unique. And you're there with a bunch of other people. Like last year, there were over 5,000 people in the park. And Pure Marquette's not huge. So when you're there and you're with this huge crowd kicking off the season, it was always just so special and so fun.
Fireworks again this year?
Oh, yeah. Fireworks.
Yeah.
And cookies.
Fireworks.
Yep.
Fireworks, Santa, and cookies.
I don't know what else you need. And the Jingle Bus.
Gotta
Isabel,
be there.
Thanks
November
for popping
21st.
in today. Yeah, this is cool stuff. Thanks for popping in, and good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
12:25 on WTMJ. We'll get you headlines, local and national, coming up.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, West Bend Vacuum Center and Certa Pro Painters. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Protecting your family's legacy since 1999. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. It's Krause Estate Planning and Elder Law Center for all of your estate planning needs. It can be kind of a heavy topic to start thinking about, right? How to prepare for the future, how to protect what you've earned and built over time. Well, the folks at Krause Estate Planning understand this. They understand the ever-changing world of tax laws and how to get things built for you. A custom approach. Led by Dan Krause, the team at Krause Estate Planning will walk you through it from start to finish. Getting some feedback here, too, from folks who have relied on Krause Estate Planning for their estate planning needs, looking for a law firm to update their will, create a trust document. And the team at Krause Estate Planning was able to help folks do that. Thorough and patient are words that pop out here in the reviews. Dan Krause has been doing this for over 20 years after retiring after 20 years in the Army. Check out Krause Estate Planning. Visit estateplanningpeople.com. They've got offices in Brookfield, Madison, and in Oregon. It's estateplanningpeople.com.
When is the last time you paid less but got more in return? It happens every day if you or a loved one has Medicare Advantage. $0 copays and an average of $2,500 less out-of-pocket annually, but more benefits like dental, hearing, and vision. More prevention and screenings to keep people healthy. More care for less money. No wonder 33 million seniors choose Medicare Advantage. Visit MedicareAdvantageMajority.org to learn more. Paid for by Medicare Advantage Majority.
Open the door to savings on everything. Now at Menards. Upgrade your garage with a Genie Wi-Fi garage door opener. Genie smart garage door openers bring quality, convenience, and security to your home. These openers are easy to control with your smartphone from anywhere and feature a quiet belt drive system. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, memory care issues. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. I've been in their places. I love how they deal with people. It's about compassion and empathy at Azura. Kindness is at their core. 14 locations from the Mississippi to Lake Michigan, 4 here in the Milwaukee area. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's about kindness and care. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Approaching 12:30, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Tuesday, November 12th. Your top stories: slim chance of survival for an abused child.
I'm Jessica Ty. Bond is set for the man accused of killing a former police officer.
A lot of clouds today, and it's going to stay that way throughout the night here. 48 your high today. Tomorrow, we're looking at a high of 53. There is a pretty good chance of rain, and you can expect it later in the day into the evening hours. In fact, some of that rain may linger into the morning hours on Thursday. Not a lot of sun here the rest of the week, but temperatures hovering in between the upper 40s and mid to upper 50s. So relatively mild conditions here. It's not snow, it's rain that's going to be falling here middle of the week. 44 degrees and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. As President-elect Trump and his transition team work to fill key positions, Republicans say they expect to maintain control of the House. Just over a dozen races still undecided. ABC's Jay O'Brien has the latest.
We haven't called it yet at ABC News because some of these races are still too close to call, but they appear poised to hold on to a slim majority in the House of Representatives. They're within striking distance. They would need to pick up just 2 more races in order to actually get the 218 they need by last count.
A U.S. civil jury has awarded $42 million to 3 former detainees from Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison, finding CACI, a Virginia-based military contractor, is partially responsible for the prisoners' torture and mistreatment some 2 decades ago. Civilian interrogators worked alongside the U.S. Army. Fire crews hoping to make progress against wildfires burning on both the east and west coasts. Winds gusting in New York and New Jersey where fires have spread due to drought conditions. This is ABC.
Siding Unlimited WTMJ news time is 12:31. A Milwaukee infant not expected to survive alleged abuse inflicted by the baby's father. Jalen White accused of throwing the 8-month-old baby against a wall after becoming upset while playing a video game. Milwaukee County Assistant District Attorney Madeline Whitty.
The defendant has confessed to this incident. The defendant is also the only person with the ability and the opportunity to inflict this harm on the victim.
If the child does die, White will face additional homicide charges. He's being held on $100,000 cash bond and will be back in court on Friday.
Bond is set at $1 million for the man accused of killing a retired Green Bay police officer. 32-year-old Abilio Thomas Sargento Roblero of Gillette made his first appearance in court on Monday. He bolted off to Arkansas after investigators say he hit 60-year-old Thomas Roberts with an SUV in late October. Roberts died of his injuries. Victim coordinator Rachel Race.
The defendant has already proven he is a flight risk and has no intention of appearing in court. Tom spent his entire life helping others, and that is what he was doing when he was killed. The defendant didn't even stop to see if Tom was okay.
Roblero has his preliminary hearing coming up on November 20th.
Parents and former teachers continue to voice concerns about Fond du Lac's superintendent. During a school board meeting on Monday, community members tell our partners at NBC 26 that teachers are still afraid of the superintendent's actions.
You have a large population of teachers afraid that they may be unexpectedly placed on administrative leave. You have a large population of teachers afraid they could be suddenly terminated or forced to resign without any actionable feedback.
And some are calling for the school board to investigate. Superintendent Jeffrey Flagg was not present at the meeting.
Friends of late Alderman Jonathan Brostoff want to honor his life by continuing his work on suicide prevention. Levi Stein organized the We Can Save Lives tour. It's 41 free sessions to train people on what signs to look for in honor of Brostoff's 41 years of life.
What are those signs or those invitations? When you recognize that, you've got to ask about suicide. You have to ask in a direct way, and we teach how to do that. If the answer is a yes or a unbelievable no or a kind of or a maybe, then you need to be there to listen. You need to be there for them.
Stein's goal is to train at least 1,000 suicide alert helpers across the state of Wisconsin.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office is receiving hundreds of calls about financial scams. Deputy Kay Rodriguez says the scam calls will claim to be officials from the Sheriff's Office or other government agencies.
These scammers are claiming that warrants have been issued and that those warrants require immediate payment. The scammers are asking for this payment to be made via cryptocurrency, via Coinstar, and sometimes via random gift cards and Visa cards.
And a reminder that law enforcement agencies will never call about jury duty, unpaid fines, or arrest warrants.
Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:34.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Elmbrook Family Dental, a great dental team from right here in Wisconsin. Dr. Eric is great. He's born and raised in Elm Grove, and he's the expert when it comes to cosmetic work with Invisalign. Dr. Eric's used Invisalign himself. He knows that would help him treat patients. He can help walk you through the process. The website is elmbrookfamilydental.com. 3 locations, 2 in Brookfield and a brand new spot in Wauwatosa. That's elmbrookfamilydental.com.
Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive is bringing us all together again to collect toys for children and families in need.
Join Capco and WTMJ for a celebration of giving on December 7th at the Kazmarek Center in Grafton.
This is more than just a toy drive. It's about kids helping kids. We are learning the importance of giving and how that impacts other kids and families all over Wisconsin.
Experience the joy of giving on December 7th.
And don't forget to bring toys.
Help us make a difference this Christmas. Visit kidstokidstoydrive.com.
Vince Vitrano with a Black Friday sale that will transform the look of your family home. Head to Lifetime Door Company just north of 124th and Burleigh or visit online at lifetimedoor.net to get started. Create your new garage door and order November 25th through the 27th. $100 off the cost of a new opener, up to $300 off the cost of a new garage door. Other discounts available when you tell them Vinny sent you to the Black Friday sale. Lifetime Door Company, 262-783-4004, lifetimedoor.net.
Sweet, flaky, and utterly delicious. That's the famous Kringle from O&H Danish Bakery. Guaranteed to get you on the nice list, O&H Danish Bakery can deliver that heavenly goodness right to your doorstep. Now that's a memorable gift where you know you've nailed it. And it arrives fresh in just 2 business days, anywhere within the country. Order online today, ohdanishbakery.com, or come on in to O&H Danish Bakery in Racine, Oak Creek, or Sturnivan and taste the difference of bakery made from scratch.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers look to extend the Bears' losing streak this weekend. Sunday afternoon contest at Soldier Field. The Bears have lost 4 straight games and fired their offensive coordinator today. They've lost 3 straight games. Well, maybe it's about to be 4. Meanwhile, Jordan Love is currently tied for the league lead in interceptions with 10.
It has to get better. I think we all know that. But at the same time, I'm not overly concerned. The way he works, the way he goes about things, that's just a matter of time, in my opinion.
Packers GM Brian Gutekunst. And the Bucks are back on the home floor tonight against the Raptors. Game 1 of group play for the NBA's in-season tournament. Coverage of tonight's game begins following the 6 o'clock news.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We still have one crash in Milwaukee County. It's 41894 North near the ramp at Beloit Road. Right shoulder is blocked due to a crash that happened just a few minutes after noon, so hopefully that clears quickly here. Traffic is moving along okay, though.
Clouds in the sky, cool temperatures today, a high of 48, partly cloudy tonight and a low of 42. Partly cloudy on Wednesday. Chance of rain late. That could linger into Thursday morning as well. Wednesday's high 53. 44 and mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:38.
A shocking twist to a missing kayaker case. Investigators in Green Lake County now believe Ryan Bogwart faked his own death and left the country after meeting a woman online. The 45-year-old father of 3 was reported missing after kayaking back in August. ABC's Ava Pilgrim has the update.
Investigators became suspicious after they found out Borgart's name had been checked by Canadian law enforcement August 13th, the day after his disappearance. They discovered he'd gotten a new passport last January after reporting his missing, and he'd taken out a $375,000 life insurance policy. Investigators say Borgart had been communicating with a woman in Uzbekistan and even moved money to a foreign bank before disappearing.
Bogwart's car and trailer were parked on the bank of the lake. His kayak was found tipped over in the water. Search teams probed the deep waters of Green Lake for 54 days in hopes of finding this man. And the group that searched that lake, basically every inch of it, is a nonprofit organization called Bruce's Legacy. The founder is a Wisconsin man, Keith Cormican. He's joined us here in Wisconsin's Midday News before when we discussed the Shade Robinson case here in Milwaukee. And he's back with us now to discuss this crazy twist and his effort with the initial search. Keith, did you have a gut feeling about this one, or at some point did you think something just doesn't seem right here?
Yes, I did. Later into the search, having the phone data to put in, given as a good last seen area or last known area, is usually pretty accurate information. And so going into it, I felt pretty confident that it was going to be a 1 or 2 day search. And then by maybe, day 10, 12, the suspicion started growing pretty heavily, questioning whether he's there or not. And, it just progressively got more suspicious about what was going on there.
In your searching, Keith, did anything turn up that led you to believe, okay, we're on the right path here? There's going to be something else. Did he leave anything behind that led you to continue your search?
Well, there was obviously the kayak was, found early that morning by the sheriff's department. So, that's a good sign. Later in this, early into this search, a fisherman actually snagged his, fishing pole. So that was, another good sign that, this guy's probably out here. And so those are things that he went to special efforts to putting in the lake. The tackle box with his phone and keys were found, a long ways away, but they would have floated in the tackle box and ended up on shore where they did. So he definitely put a lot of effort into disguising what he was going to be doing, I guess.
Keith, you put a lot of hard work and time into searching those waters. How are you feeling today, now knowing that police say they believe this guy faked his death and left the country?
Well, I have mixed feelings on it. I was certainly questioning my abilities anymore. I've been doing this for 30 some years, and with Bruce's Legacy, I started 11 years ago. I've been, pretty successful, and then when you have a situation like this where you work so hard at it, and we covered this lake like I've never covered a lake before. I started second guessing, myself, honestly, and then to find, get this final news. It was a sigh of relief that way, but then again, it's just very, very disappointing and heartbreaking to see the family put through something dramatic as this.
Keith, in all of your experience doing search and rescue missions like this, have you ever encountered one that went on this long with no clear resolution until ultimately today, a couple of months later?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been on cases that have lasted longer, yes. I worked a case in Lake Michigan on the other side of the lake that we worked for, almost 2 years, and before we located the young guy out in 180 feet in Lake Michigan. So, we have worked them for a long time, put a lot of time into them, but not anything that had this kind of outcome.
We're talking with Keith Cormican. He's a search and rescue expert and owner of Bruce's Legacy. Keith, at what point did investigators tell you, since you were involved in the search and rescue effort or the search effort, that they were going to go in a different direction? Or did you find out along with the rest of us when they had the press conference?
No. The sheriff and I had a conversation after one of, towards the end of, the 23 days that I put into it. I just, I questioned the sheriff's department, several times throughout throughout the search, and just questioning, if this guy is even out in this lake. And they were heavily involved with being, they had a deputy or a DNR warden on my boat every day. And so that gave them the confidence of seeing what we were doing, what we were seeing on the lake, how well we're covering it. And I think between that, having that confidence in what we were doing and the areas that we covered so well, that, I just, told them in this conversation one night that, we really, I don't know what more I can do. I've searched this so thoroughly and maybe we need to look elsewhere. And I guess that's what kind of was a turning point.
You've helped with so many big cases, including, as I mentioned at the top of this interview here, with the Sade Robinson case here in Milwaukee. Have you ever had a case that's taken a turn like this, though?
No, I never have.
Wow. Keith Cormican, search and rescue expert, owner of Bruce's Legacy, who helped out and searched Green Lake for weeks in the hopes of finding this man, Ryan Bogwart, who investigators now say faked his own death and left the country after meeting a woman online. Keith, thanks so much for joining us and giving us the update.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Saudi Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:45.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
Hey, Wisconsin, Greg Matzik here. Want to tell you about Holiday Automotive, I should say. Siding's coming up later if you need a new thing for your house. How about if you need a new vehicle? Well, there you go with Holiday Automotive in Fond du Lac. The fall weather's been pretty good. We know what's coming, though, right? Are you ready for winter driving? Well, let Team Holiday help you out so you can take to the roads with a little confidence this winter. In an all-wheel drive equipped Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC, you can also explore peace of mind benefits and value baked into a GM-certified pre-owned model. Connect with Team Holiday, find that new vehicle, whatever's right for you, during the year-end sale. It's going on. Score enticing offers. Get more for that trade of yours and experience for yourself. Team Holiday's simplified buying approach. And genuine guest care. It really is different. I've shopped Holiday for over a decade now, and I've been delighted with the trips I've taken. Repeat trips, as a matter of fact. We're repeat customers with Holiday, and for good reason. Help navigate today's car market with some confidence. Find yours and discover the difference at Holiday Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Per 2023 Buick and GMC zone sales records, they are the #1 Buick and GMC dealer in the state. Visit them online at holidaygm.com. It's worth the trip.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into just one area. So that's where we come in.
By we, Dr. Ashley Caravelli means the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, QC Kinetics.
We put in those treatments, then it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics has gathered brilliant medical minds like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in the field of regenerative medicine, to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting-edge research to reach our patients and treat them and know that surgery is no longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Cloudy and cool today, a high of 48 degrees. Clouds will remain tomorrow with a high of 53, and expect some rain later in the evening. That could linger into Thursday. And we're in the 50s here for the bulk of the week and into the weekend. Not a lot of sun here. Rain expected on Wednesday into Thursday morning. 44 degrees, mostly cloudy in Milwaukee at 12:49. Breaking news here, Jessica. Finally, a longtime favorite has made its way into the Toy Hall of Fame. This is official.
Some say it should have been in long ago based on the theme song alone. My Little Pony first introduced to kids in the 80s, but relaunched in 2003. Hugely popular. Some years, the ponies even surpassed Barbies in sales numbers. Now it's made it to the Strong Museum of Play in Rochester, New York, along with another toy with a super strong theme song. They, along with the card game Phase 10, beat out a list of finalists that included Apples to Apples, Pokemon trading cards, and the Stick Horse. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
No, the Stick Horse can't get in 2024. I don't know that the Stick Horse is getting in ever, right?
The Stick Horse is such a classic. I feel like that one has to go in. Remember one of the other finalists when we talked about this months ago when it was first revealed? The balloon. We were trying to figure out, is that technically a toy?
Yeah, I don't know. You can make it a toy. That's the beauty of children and some adults. You can make a toy out of pretty much anything.
It just feels like when I look at the finalists and you see Apples to Apples, you see Transformers, My Little Pony, the Stick Horse, and the balloon. And if you went up to a kid or even adult and said, which one of these does not belong? I feel like people would circle the balloon.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't feel as toy-like. It's a common element, of course, for birthdays. But have you ever played the balloon game where you got to keep it off the ground by hitting it back and forth with one of your friends?
Or if you got to sit on it with your butt and does it pop or does it not
yes,
pop?
Well, be careful doing that, yes. So, but nonetheless, congrats to My Little Pony, Transformers, and let's see, the card game Phase 10. I'm not familiar with Phase 10. I've never played that.
Same. I was really surprised about that one. I mean, I guess it has some history. It's a black inventor, Detroit native, guy named Ken Johnson. He designed his first game, Dice Baseball, when he was just 12, and at 19 decided to go into business for himself after being laid off from his welding job at Ford Motor Company. Too many details for you?
That's a lot.
But yeah, see, and that's the thing. If you don't know the game, how many people know that game?
Apples to
I'm
Apples,
sure some
I've
people
played,
do.
and that's a blast. Pokemon's kind of a cult following, but it's popular, no doubt about that. And those trading cards are it's super valuable to those who collect such things. So maybe their time is coming. But yes, congrats to My Little Pony. I did not have any growing up. I did have some Transformers.
Well, and see, I didn't have a Transformer, but I had a My Little Pony.
See, there you go.
And you know that silky hair, the tail. You
got to brush
a little
it,
brush
and you can braid it, have some fun with it.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Hey, we want to get you out to Cafe Hollander on Wednesday. It's the start of our trivia program here in connection with Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. This is really cool. So Wednesday, tomorrow, this will be show number 1 with Vinny and Greg Pancake Hill taking it to Cafe Hollander. It's the WTMJ Trivia Showdown presented by Quizmaster Trivia, and this is all going to benefit Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, a yearly initiative for us here at WTMJ. So join Vinny and Greg Hill. They will host the competition at Cafe Hollander in Wauwatosa tomorrow, right there in the village. What a great location. And WTMJ's Trivia Showdown not only supports Capco and their Kids to Kids Toy Drive, but there's great prizes for you. So if you're good at trivia, you could walk away with a $150 gift card to be used at Cafe Hollander or Cafe Benelux or any of those wonderful Lowlands Restaurant Group places.
Trivia is a big deal right now.
It
People
is.
really get into trivia.
It's a great winter thing.
Even like right around the corner from me, County Clare. Oh, shout out to the awesome Irish pub and restaurant. They have trivia at the Irish spot. I mean, it's just everywhere. I feel like people are really getting into it, and it gets competitive.
It definitely gets competitive, right? You start to see it at every one of these locations. So we're kicking things off tomorrow at Cafe Hollander in Toast. It all starts at 7 o'clock. Get there early, grab a bite to eat, maybe grab a nice beer. They got a great selection there. If you can't make it to one of our trivia competitions, you can also help Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive by donating. Just text the word Capco, that's K-A-P-C-O. Text the word Capco to our talk and text line at 855-616-1620. This is all a way to make sure those who are challenged to have the Christmas that they would prefer to have end up having the Christmas they would prefer to have. Every kid deserves something under that tree, and that's what this mission helps support. But this is week 1. Next week, Eric Bilstead and I will be out at the Hounds and Tap in Menominee Falls.
Yeah.
What a great location. You can bring your dog, hang out. We'll do trivia on the 20th of November, but it all launches tomorrow at Cafe Hollander.
It does. And then it goes into December, too. I'm going to be out at North Pillar Brewing Company in Waukesha with Sandy Max, Jeff Sherman. We're going to be out there doing trivia as well. And that's on Wednesday, December 11th at 7 p.m. So if you can't make the November ones, come join us. We'd love to see you. Wednesday, December 11th at North Pillar Brewing in Waukesha. We're going to get our trivia on, all for the kids.
Yes, this will be your first experience with Capco's Kids to Kid Toy Drive. We've done remotes for this. We've done different initiatives. We've done holiday radio shows. We have done so many things in partnership with Capco. And the Kids to Kids Toy Drive started back with Jonathan Green. When I was producing The Greenhouse, my first job out of college, the Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive became a thing. And he had grandchildren, and he wanted to make sure that his grandchildren understood the value of Christmas.
Love that.
And going out and going through the stores and maybe having a budget of $10 to buy that gift for someone who needed it. And it's a great thing that Jonathan helped start, and we're still doing it today, some 25 years later.
Yeah, it's free to play, but you're encouraged to bring a new toy or to donate on site to contribute to Capco's Kids to Kids. All about the kids. Think about that on Christmas Day. So many of us are so fortunate just to go down, and as a kid, you walk down, you see the Christmas tree and all the presents underneath. Well, not all kids have that, and this is a small way that we can be a part of their big day on Christmas and just, put a smile on their face, get those big eyes wide. They get a present too.
We'll get your trivia on with Vinny and Eric. I know Vinny will sign autographs after the thing. Vinny and Greg Hill, that is, tomorrow at Cafe Hollander in Tosa. It all starts at 7 o'clock. News coming up, and then it's spanning the state here on WTMJ.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Join John each week as he challenges financial advice you've been given and reaffirms what you know to be true. If your financial plan doesn't include taxes, insurance, estate planning, and investing, it's incomplete and you can't